4-5, Graphing using Slope-Intercept Form. When you have an equation in slope-intercept form, which looks like this, y equals mx plus b, m is the slope, b is the y-intercept. So, when you have equations that are in slope-intercept form, you can find the slope and the y-intercept really easy. Let's take the second equation. The slope of that equation is 1/2. M always stands for slope. Remember, this is y equals mx plus b. The y-intercept is 7. So it's really easy to find the slope and the y-intercept as long as you're in slope-intercept form. Now, the other equation is in slope-intercept form, but there's one weird thing. It's got a minus sign instead of a plus sign. So, go ahead and change that to plus a negative. Isn't one minus sign plus a negative? And then it's super easy to see that the slope is 3 and the y-intercept is -2. Okay, here's part 1 of video homework. Now, here's 2 equations that are not in slope-intercept form. In order to find the slope and the y-intercept, we have to rewrite the equations so that they will be in slope-intercept form. Remember, slope-intercept form starts with y equals, so we are going to solve for y. So, on the first one, we're going to do minus 3x because we want y by itself. That cancels, that leaves y equals, arrange it into slope-intercept form, and there you go. The slope is -3, the y-intercept is 2. Same thing on the next equation, it's not in slope-intercept form. We want it to be, so we have to rewrite it. We want y equals, so get rid of the x thing first, minus 3x. So that's -3y equals -3x plus 12. Now we need y equals, not -3y equals, so divide by -3. Divide each thing by -3. Y equals 1x plus -4. So m is 1 and the y-intercept is -4. Let's do one more like this where we have to find the slope and the y-intercept, but it's not in y-intercept form. So remember, we're going to rewrite it into slope-intercept form. So we've got x plus 4y equals 6. It's always a good idea to put a 1 on a plane x. So minus 1x. That leaves us 4y equals -1x plus 6. Divide by 4, divide by 4, divide by 4. So we get y equals -1/4 x plus, go ahead and reduce your fraction, 3/2, or 1.5, either way. So the slope is -1/4, the y-intercept is 3/2. Here's video homework part 2. Remember, it's not in slope-intercept form. You have to rewrite it, which means solving for y, because we want y equals. Okay, now You can also use slope-intercept form to graph an equation. It's the next way to learn how to graph. So you're going to need the slope and the y-intercept. So on this one, first we have to get it in slope-intercept form. So minus 2x minus 2x, that gives us y equals negative 2x plus 3. So the slope is negative 2 and the y-intercept is 3. In order to graph using this method, you start with the y-intercept. So we're going to find the place on the y-axis where this line is, and that's at 3. We know that because y-intercept means that. So go ahead and put your dot at 3. Now, we're going to use our slope next, and we need our slope written as a fraction. So if our slope is negative 2, to write negative 2 as a fraction, you just put it over 1. So you take your pencil or whatever and you put it at your point on negative 3, and then you're going to use the top number here to go up or down and use the bottom number to go side to side. So we're going to go down 2 and over 1. So that will be our next point right there. Down 2 and over 1. Down 2 over 1 will get us to this point right here. And so there's our other point. Now all we have to do is draw our line. Connect the two things. So, ooh, I was a little off. Let me try that one more time. There, that's better. So there's our line. Okay. So all you need to do, let's go over that one more time. What did I do first? I used the y-intercept first, and I went to 3 on the y-line. And then I wrote my slope as a fraction, and I said, oh, negative 2 means down 2, positive 1 means over 1 positive. Connect the dots. That's what I did. Okay, let's do another one. Sometimes when they give it to you, it's already in slope-intercept form. So you don't have to change anything. You only change it if it's not in the right form. So this one is. So the slope is 3 and the y-intercept is 2. So remember, which one am I going to start with? The y-intercept. So I'm going to go to 2, put my point on the y-line, and then I'm going to take my slope and write it as a fraction. And so I'm going to go up 3 and over 1. Up 3 over 1 gets me to this point right here. And then I'm going to connect the dots and draw my line. Okay, easy. Graphing in y-intercept form is pretty easy. Okay, here's our next one. Let's try graphing this one. First thing to do, we got to get it in slope-intercept form. So we want to solve for y. So plus 8x plus 8x. That's going to give me negative 2y equals 8x plus 32. Divide everything by negative 2. It's going to give me y equals negative 4x plus negative 16. Okay? Now, the slope is negative 4 and the y-intercept is negative 16. Okay? Now I got a problem. Anyone see my problem? I really don't have room on this graph to go down 16. Okay? So this would be a good graph, a good time to let each line equal 2. And the way you do that is you make sure that you write that somewhere on the graph so that someone will know. So you like label some things like 2, 4, 6. So right away I know where you're going by 2's, okay? You might want to label this side 2, 2, 4, 6. Of course those are negative. You could label a lot better with a pencil than I can with the stylus. Anyway, so if we go by 2's and y is negative 16, let's see where that's going to be. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So that's where I need to put my dot. Okay, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Right there. Okay. And then my slope is negative 4, so I'm going to write my slope as a fraction, negative 4 over 1. So I'm going to go down 4 and over 1. Now remember, we're going by 2's. So when I go down 4, it's like I'm going to 4. And when I go over 1, I'm only going over a half of the square because 2 is the first line. So 1 is like halfway in between, if that makes sense. So to graph it, I'm going to go down 4 and over 1, so the dot is going to be right about there in the middle of that. Okay, and then I'm going to draw my line. Okay, so my line does not want to draw. That's funny. Let's see if I'm on drawing. Okay. Okay. It still does not want to draw. Okay, I'm going to draw it freehand without a... Oh, that really did not want to draw. Anyway, my line is right there. You get the idea. Okay, here's part 3 of video homework. Get it all done. Have a lovely evening.